My beloved child, imagine yourself as a weary traveler standing at the edge of a vast, endless ocean. The waves roar before you, each crash a reminder of mounting bills, shattered dreams, and the heavy weight of expectations. Behind you, the shoreline of your past crumbles, leaving no place to retreat. Every step forward feels impossible, as if the very sands beneath your feet are slipping away. And yet, deep within your soul, a whisper rises, what if this ocean isn't here to drown you, but to deliver you? This is where many find themselves when they lift a prayer for financial miracle, a plea not just for provision, but for a way through the storms that seem ready to consume them. It mirrors the plight of a Canaanite woman who, like you, faced an impossible situation. Her daughter was tormented by a demon, and every solution seemed beyond reach. Yet, she clung to hope. She believed in a man named Jesus, a healer, a miracle worker who could bring light into her darkest hour. Her faith was like a single, fragile thread holding together the torn fabric of her life. Have you ever felt like that? Holding on to hope with trembling hands, even as doubt whispers in your ear. Perhaps you've whispered your own prayer, seeking relief from financial burdens that grow heavier each day. This woman's journey was not just about finding Jesus, it was about overcoming rejection, breaking through silence, and persisting despite every obstacle. She walked through a crowd that saw her as unworthy, pressing forward with a mother's fierce love. And when she finally stood before him, her words were filled with the echoes of sleepless nights and silent tears. Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. But Jesus did not answer her, not a word. Have you ever faced such silence? The kind that makes you question whether your prayers are heard, whether you're truly seen. That silence is not a rejection, it is an invitation to deeper faith. The Canaanite woman refused to be discouraged. She knelt before him and cried, Lord, help me. It was not a plea of desperation, but a declaration of trust in the only one who could meet her need. Her story is a mirror to your own. When you stand at the edge of an impossible situation, lift your voice in faith, even if the answers seem delayed. Know this, the silence of heaven is not its absence. Like the ocean before you, it is vast, powerful, and waiting to part. Your persistence, like hers, can turn impossibilities into miracles. Step forward, my child, and trust in the one who is always listening. Does unshakable faith truly change your destiny? Let me take you to a moment that mirrors your heart's deepest longing. Picture a mother, her hands trembling, her knees worn from prayer, yet her spirit unyielding. The Canaanite woman knew rejection. She felt the sting of unworthiness, the cold glances that spoke of her outsider status. And yet, none of this could diminish her faith. She believed that if she could only reach Jesus, just a word from his lips would bring healing to her suffering daughter. Do you feel the same way? Do you wonder if your prayer for financial miracle can truly change your circumstances? Let me assure you, my child, that your faith has not gone unnoticed. Faith, after all, is not about seeing the end of the road, it is about walking it anyway. The woman's journey to Jesus was not smooth. Her cries for mercy were met with silence, and then with words that tested her resolve. How many times have you felt tested? as though your prayers were met with a closed door. But hear this truth: every closed door is an opportunity to knock louder, to persist, to lean into the promise that God's delays are not his denials. Her reply to Jesus, humble yet unwavering, was a masterpiece of faith. She accepted her position with grace, yet boldly declared, even the dogs eat crumbs that fall from their master's table. Such humility, combined with unshakable belief, unlocked the miracle she sought. In that moment, Jesus turned to her and said, woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. Her daughter was healed, not because of her status or her worthiness in the eyes of others, but because of her relentless trust in the one who holds all power. Now, reflect on your own heart. How often have you let the weight of your circumstances convince you that the crumbs of life are all you deserve? Yet, even the smallest crumbs from the Master's table carry the fullness of his power. Your faith, however small or fragile it feels, is the bridge between the impossible and the miraculous. When you lift up your prayer for financial miracle, know that it is not the size of your faith that moves mountains, but the greatness of the God in whom you place it. So, what will you do now, my child? Will you allow doubt to define your destiny? Or will you hold firm like the Canaanite woman, trusting that even when the answers seem distant, the miracle is already set in motion? Let this truth anchor your soul: the God who commended her faith and granted her request is the same God who hears your every whisper, sees your every need, and moves heaven and earth to bring his promises to pass. Step forward, not in the assurance of what you see, but in the boldness of faith that knows the best is yet to come. The testing of faith, a journey through silence. Have you ever stood in the stillness of the night, crying out with all your heart, only to be met with silence? It is in these moments, when heaven seems quiet, that the testing of faith reaches its most profound depths. The Canaanite woman knew this silence. She approached Jesus, her heart heavy with desperation, and pleaded, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. Imagine her anguish, her hope trembling on the brink of collapse. Have you been there? Have you lifted a prayer for financial miracle? Pouring the disciples urged Jesus to send her away, as if her cries were a disruption, a burden too great to bear. But she did not retreat. She did not let their judgment or his silence drive her away. Instead, she came closer. She knelt before him and uttered a simple yet powerful plea, Lord, help me. It was not elaborate, not adorned with flowery words, but it carried the weight of her entire heart. Do you see the beauty in this? Faith does not require perfect words or flawless timing, it requires persistence. The silence you face today may feel like an unanswered prayer, but it is not the end of your story. Just as a seed must endure the darkness of the soil before it breaks forth into light, so too must your faith persevere through the silence before it blossoms into the miraculous. Jesus finally spoke, but his words were not what she might have hoped for. It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. He said, harsh words, perhaps, to test the resolve of her faith. And yet, she did not falter. She saw through the surface, recognizing not rejection but an opportunity, a chance to declare her unyielding belief in his mercy. Yes, Lord. She replied, but even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. What humility! What courage! She accepted her position, not as a denial but as a foundation for her faith. She trusted that even the smallest touch of his power, even a crumb, was enough to transform her situation. Beloved, what will you do in the face of silence? Will you turn away, believing the lie that you are forgotten? Or will you press closer, kneeling before the Lord with the same boldness as the Canaanite woman? Let your prayer for financial miracle rise not as a demand, but as a declaration of trust. Believe that his silence is not his absence, but his preparation for something greater than you can imagine. Know this, when the testing of faith comes, it is never to break you but to build you. The silence is not the end. It is the pause before the melody of his answer. A divine interlude where your faith takes root and grows strong. And when the answer comes, it will not only meet your needs but exceed your expectations. Hold on, my child, for the God who hears even the faintest cry will never leave you or forsake you. Humility unlocks the heart of God. There is a key that opens the doors of heaven. A treasure more powerful than strength or status, it is humility. The Canaanite woman showed us this truth when she knelt before Jesus. Not with entitlement, but with a heart full of trust and surrender. In the face of words that could have wounded her pride, she chose not to walk away, but to stay, believing that even the crumbs of his mercy could transform her life. Picture her there, bowed low, her voice steady as she replied to Jesus, "Yes, Lord. But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." It was not a plea born of defeat, but of deep understanding. She knew that in his kingdom, even the smallest act of grace carries infinite power. Her humility wasn't weakness, it was a quiet strength. A declaration that her hope was in him alone. Have you ever felt like you were asking for crumbs? Like your prayer for financial miracle was too small or insignificant for God to notice? Let me remind you, child, that in his hands, even the smallest blessings are multiplied. The bread he offers is not ordinary, it is divine. Capable of meeting not only your needs, but exceeding them in ways you cannot imagine. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, it is about thinking more of God. It is the recognition that his ways are higher than ours. That his provision comes not because we deserve it but because he delights in giving to his children. When you approach him with a heart that says, "Lord, I trust you. I believe that even a crumb of your mercy can change my life," you step into a posture that moves his heart. Think about the woman's response. She didn't argue her worth or demand to be seen as equal. She simply acknowledged her need and trusted his goodness. And that, beloved, is the essence of faith. It is not about striving to prove yourself but about surrendering to his love and letting him do what only he can. What would happen if you approached your own prayers with this kind of humility? If, instead of asking for the fullness of the table, you trusted that even the smallest touch of his hand would be enough. When you lay down your pride and open your heart to his will, you create space for miracles. The God who multiplied loaves and fish for thousands, who healed the blind and raised the dead, is the same God who hears your whisper. He does not measure your prayers by their size but by the trust they carry. Today, as you lift your prayer for financial miracle, remember this, it is not about convincing God to act. It is about aligning your heart with his. trusting that He knows what you need, and that He is faithful to provide. Humility is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of His miracles. So come, kneel before Him, and let your faith unlock the fullness of His grace. The crumbs from His table are not crumbs at all, they are overflowing with the abundance of His love. Faith as the bridge to miracles. There is a sacred truth woven into the fabric of every miracle: faith is the bridge between your need and God's provision. The Canaanite woman's story teaches us that it is not the magnitude of the problem nor the size of the request that moves God's heart, it is the unwavering trust of the one who asks. Her faith, tested and refined, became the key that unlocked the miraculous healing of her daughter. Imagine her standing before Jesus, her heart laid bare, her request seemingly impossible. Yet, with every step of her journey and every word she spoke, her faith grew stronger. Have you ever felt the weight of an impossible situation? Perhaps your prayer for financial miracle feels like asking for a mountain to move, and doubt whispers that it cannot be done. But let me remind you, child, that mountains are no match for the faith placed in the one who created them. Faith is not just belief, it is action. It is the courage to approach God even when the world tells you to stay back. The persistence to keep knocking on the door even when it feels locked. The Canaanite woman could have turned away when Jesus first remained silent, or when His words tested her resolve. Instead, she stayed. Her faith unshaken. Her hope undeterred. Her faith was not just a request, it was a declaration: I know who you are, Lord, and I trust you. What would happen if you approached your own challenges with this kind of faith? What if you lifted your prayers, not as a last resort, but as a first response, believing that God is both able and willing to act on your behalf? Faith is not about the certainty of the outcome, it is about the certainty of the one in whom you trust. When you pray, Lord, I need your help, I need a miracle, you are not asking from a place of lack, but from a place of confidence in His abundance. Look at how Jesus responded to the woman: Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. It was not her words, her status, or her actions that impressed Him, it was her belief. She trusted that even a crumb of His power could change everything. And her faith made it so. Now, think about your own journey. What are you trusting Him for? What miracle are you asking Him to perform? Do not let doubt or fear hold you back. Approach Him boldly. Not because of what you can do, but because of who He is. Your prayer for financial miracle is not too big for Him to handle. He is the God who provides, the God who heals, the God who multiplies. Trust that as you place your faith in Him, He will not only meet your needs but exceed them in ways you cannot yet see. Faith does not deny the reality of the challenge, it declares the greater reality of God's power. So, my child, stand firm on this truth: the same Jesus who commended the faith of the Canaanite woman is the one who hears your prayers today. Let your faith rise like a flame, burning away doubt and fear. And watch as He moves mountains, opens doors, and turns impossibilities into testimonies. God's love knows no boundaries, my beloved child. Let this truth sink deeply into your heart: the love of God knows no limits. It does not stop at borders, cultural lines, or human-made distinctions. The story of the Canaanite woman is a vivid reminder of this boundless love. She was not of the chosen people, she was an outsider. deemed unworthy by the standards of her time. Yet, in the eyes of Jesus, her faith transcended every barrier. Do you ever feel like an outsider? Like your prayer for financial miracle is too insignificant? Your situation too hopeless? Or your past too messy for God to care? The Canaanite woman must have felt that way as she approached Jesus, knowing full well the societal judgments stacked against her. But she didn't let those judgments define her. She saw past the barriers and recognized a love that could not be constrained by human boundaries. Jesus' response to her shows us something extraordinary. He didn't simply grant her request, he praised her faith in a way rarely seen in Scripture. "Woman, you have great faith," he declared. This was not just an acknowledgement of her persistence, it was a testament to the fact that God's love and mercy extend to all who seek Him with an open and trusting heart. Do not let the lies of unworthiness or fear keep you from approaching Him. His love is not reserved for a select few, it is for everyone who calls upon His name. Whether you are burdened by financial struggles, broken relationships, or a past you wish you could erase, His arms are open wide. Your prayer for financial miracle is not a cry into the void, it is a whisper to a God who listens, who cares, and who moves mountains for His children. Look closely at how Jesus responded to the woman. He didn't merely meet her halfway, He embraced her need fully, granting her request with joy. His love is the same for you. It does not hesitate. It does not hold back. And it does not waver. It is a love that moves through every obstacle to meet you where you are, lifting you up and filling you with hope. Beloved, remember this: God's love does not measure your worthiness by your accomplishments or failures. It sees you through the lens of His grace. When you approach Him with humility, as the Canaanite woman did, you are not met with rejection but with open arms and boundless compassion. His love is not limited by your circumstances, it is greater than any challenge you face. Let this truth transform the way you see your situation. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. The God who healed the daughter of a woman from a distant land is the same God who sees your needs and desires to meet them. His love reaches across every divide, breaks through every barrier, and offers you the fullness of His grace. So, my child, bring your burdens, your hopes, and your prayer for financial miracle to Him. Trust that His love will surround you, guide you, and provide for you in ways that exceed your imagination. His love knows no boundaries, and neither do the blessings He has prepared for you. The power of a sincere prayer. There is an incredible force that moves heaven and earth. It is the power of a sincere prayer. The Canaanite woman's plea was not elaborate, it was not adorned with grand words or lengthy speeches. It was raw, heartfelt, and unwavering. "Lord, help me," she said. 3 simple words that carried the weight of a mother's love, a desperate hope, and an unshakable belief. These words were enough to catch the attention of Jesus and open the door to her miracle. Have you ever felt unsure about how to pray? Perhaps your prayer for financial miracle feels too small, too simple, or even unworthy of divine attention. But let me remind you, child, that God is not looking for perfection in your words, He is looking at the sincerity of your heart. It is not the length of your prayer that matters, but the depth of your trust. The Canaanite woman's prayer was sincere because it came from a place of absolute dependency. She knew that there was no other source of healing, no other solution to her problem. Her words reflected her deep conviction that Jesus alone could answer her cry. This kind of prayer moves mountains. Not because of its eloquence but because of its authenticity. Think about your own prayers. Are they filled with genuine faith? Or do they waver under the weight of doubt? When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, let it come from the depths of your heart, trusting that God hears even the faintest whisper. Just as the Canaanite woman's cry for help reached Jesus' ears, so too does your prayer reach the throne of heaven. God values sincerity over formality. A heartfelt plea, spoken in the quiet of your room or in the stillness of your soul, is more powerful than the most polished speech. The sincerity of your prayer reflects the depth of your relationship with Him. It shows that you recognize Him as the source of all provision, healing, and hope. Jesus responded to the woman's prayer not because of its complexity, but because of its faith. He saw in her words a trust so profound that it could not be denied. "Woman, you have great faith," He said. These words were not just an acknowledgement of her persistence, they were a celebration of her authenticity. She asked, believing she would receive. And her faith made it so. "My child, know this, your prayers, when offered with sincerity and trust, are precious to God. They are not overlooked or dismissed. He hears each one, and He treasures the faith they carry." Your prayer for financial miracle is not just a request, it is an act of worship. A declaration that you trust in His power and His goodness. So, pray boldly, my beloved. Pray with a heart full of trust and a soul that rests in His promises. Let your words rise like incense to the heavens, carrying with them the hope and faith that can move the hand of God. And when the answer comes, as it surely will, know that it was your sincere prayer that unlocked the doors of His blessings. Trust in the power of prayer, for it is through this divine conversation that miracles are born. Your faith journey is your testimony. Your journey of faith is more than a personal experience, it is a testimony. A story written by the hand of God for the world to see. The Canaanite woman's persistence, humility, and unwavering belief in Jesus did more than bring healing to her daughter. It became a powerful example for generations to come. A reminder that faith knows no boundaries and miracles await those who believe. Her story was not only about her struggle but also about God's response to her faith. What about your story? Have you ever considered that your prayer for financial miracle might not just be for you, but also for someone who needs to see what faith can accomplish? Every challenge you face, every trial you endure, is an opportunity for God to display His glory through you. Your struggles are not meaningless, they are the soil in which the seeds of your testimony are planted. The woman's faith journey teaches us that persistence in the face of silence and humility in the face of challenge are powerful acts of trust. When Jesus finally said, "Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted," it wasn't just her miracle, it was a public declaration of what faith can do. Imagine the witnesses, those who had dismissed her or doubted her worthiness, standing in awe of what her belief had accomplished. Her story became a beacon of hope for everyone who feels unworthy or overlooked. Your journey can have the same impact. When you lift your prayers to God, when you persist through the silence and trust Him through the challenges, you are not only drawing closer to Him, but also creating a story that will inspire others. Your prayer for financial miracle may seem like a private cry, but its answer could ripple out, touching lives you may never meet. Think of the people around you, family, friends, co-workers, who may be watching your journey. They see your faith in action. Your determination to trust in God even when the answers are delayed. Through your steadfast belief, they witness the power of faith and the goodness of God. Your testimony has the potential to light the way for others who are walking through their own dark valleys. God does not waste your struggles. Child, every tear, every prayer, and every step of faith is being woven into a greater narrative of His love and faithfulness. When the answers come, and they will, your story will not only be a source of personal joy but also a testament to the world of what God can do through a willing heart. So, as you journey forward, hold fast to this truth: your faith is never just about you. It is a thread in the grand tapestry of God's kingdom. A living testimony of His power to redeem, restore, and provide. When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, lift it with the knowledge that you are part of something much greater. Your story is His story, and through it, He will draw others to Himself. Let this knowledge strengthen your resolve. Beloved, persist in your prayers. Trust in His timing, and know that your faith is creating ripples of hope and light far beyond what you can see. Your testimony is being written, and it will declare to the world that God is good, faithful, and true. When patience is rewarded, in a world that moves so fast, patience feels like a forgotten virtue. Yet, in God's kingdom, patience is not a passive act, it is an active trust. A quiet confidence that His timing is perfect. The story of the Canaanite woman shows us the beauty of waiting faithfully. Her journey to Jesus was not met with immediate answers. There was silence, resistance, and even words that tested her resolve. But through it all, she held on, believing that her persistence would lead to the miracle she so desperately needed. Have you ever felt like your prayer for financial miracle was met with silence? Have you wondered if your cries were heard or if the answer would ever come? Know this, my child: God is never late. His silence is not His absence, and His delay is not His denial. It is in these waiting moments that faith is strengthened, trust is deepened, and miracles are prepared. The Canaanite woman could have walked away when Jesus did not answer her at first. She could have let discouragement take root when others urged Him to send her away. But instead, she stayed. Her patience was not a resignation, but a declaration of her belief that Jesus was the only one who could meet her need. And her patience was rewarded with a miracle that not only healed her daughter but also revealed her great faith to the world. Think about the promises God has placed in your heart. Maybe you've been waiting for provision, for relief from financial burdens, or for a breakthrough that seems far off. Waiting can feel like walking through a desert, with no end in sight. But just as the Canaanite woman persevered, you too can press on, trusting that God's timing is always for your good. The desert is not the destination, it is the journey that prepares you for the oasis ahead. Patience is not about sitting idly by, it is about trusting actively. It is lifting your prayer for financial miracle every day, even when the answers seem delayed. It is choosing to believe that God's plans are far greater than your own, that He is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Your waiting is not wasted, it is where your faith grows strong. Your character is refined, and your testimony is written. When the answer comes, and it will be worth the wait. Like the Canaanite woman, you will look back on your journey and see how every step, every prayer, And every moment of trust was part of God's divine plan. The joy of receiving His provision will far outweigh the pain of waiting. And in that moment, you will understand that His timing is not just perfect, it is personal. Designed specifically for you. Beloved, hold fast to this truth: patience is not a burden but a blessing. It is the space where God prepares your heart for the fullness of His promises. As you wait, trust that He is faithful to provide, to heal, and to bless in ways beyond what you could imagine. Your prayer for financial miracle is heard, and the answer is on its way. Keep trusting, keep believing, and let patience do its perfect work. God's love is the hope that sustains you. My beloved child, as this story of the Canaanite woman comes to its close, let it leave you with a truth that shines brighter than any trial: God's love is the hope that sustains you. Her journey, marked by challenges and tests, was not just about receiving a miracle, it was about encountering the boundless love of a Savior who saw her heart, her faith, and her need. This same love surrounds you now. It is the love that hears your prayer for financial miracle, even when you feel unworthy or overlooked. It is the love that walks with you through the silence, the waiting, and the tests of faith. It is the love that breaks every barrier to reach you, offering healing, provision, and peace, no matter how heavy your burdens feel, or how distant the answers seem. Know that His love is your anchor. It holds you steady when the storms rage and lights the way when the path grows dark. Like the Canaanite woman, your persistence, humility, and faith are not in vain. They are seen, valued, and cherished by the One who created you. So, lift your eyes, my child. The God who healed her daughter and declared her faith great is the same God who holds your life in His hands. Your story is not finished, and the miracles He has prepared for you are far greater than you can imagine. Let His love be your hope, your strength, and your guide. Take heart, for you are never alone. He walks with you, He fights for you, and He delights in blessing you. Trust Him with your needs, your prayers, and your future, and watch as His love transforms every part of your life. Your journey, my beloved, is a testimony in the making. Hold fast to the hope that comes from His unfailing love, and let it lead you into the fullness of His promises. The best is yet to come. Amen. My beloved child, come closer and hear the gentle whisper that calls out to you even in the stillness. You may feel that your prayers rise into the heavens like fragile paper boats drifting on an endless ocean. But I assure you, they are not lost. Even now, I am holding every cry, every plea, every whispered prayer for financial miracle. Though the silence may feel like an unbroken night, I am the one who holds the morning light, and I promise it is on its way to you. Imagine, my beloved, a candle flickering in a vast, dark room. The darkness seems to press against it, threatening to snuff it out. Yet that small flame endures. That flame, my child, is your faith, no matter how overwhelming the shadows may feel. The light within you cannot be extinguished because I am the one who kindles it. You wonder if your prayers are enough, if they carry weight amidst the trials you face. But hear me today, even the faintest flicker of faith moves my heart. I know the burdens you carry, the unanswered questions, the mounting worries, the relentless demands that seem to pull at your soul from every side. I see the weight you bear, and I long for you to lay it all down at my feet. Every time you lift your prayer for financial miracle, you are planting seeds in the soil of eternity. Though the ground may look barren now, trust that beneath the surface, a miraculous harvest is taking root. My beloved, I am not distant. I am working behind the veil of what you can see, orchestrating blessings with divine precision. Just as the roots of a mighty tree grow deep and unseen before they break through the earth, so too are the answers to your prayers taking form in ways beyond your understanding. The silence is not a denial, it is the fertile ground where your trust in me is being cultivated. Remember the Canaanite woman who came to me with her cries for mercy. She did not allow the silence to deter her, nor did she let the obstacles of rejection or doubt turn her away. Instead, she pressed forward, believing that even a crumb of my grace would be enough to meet her need. Her faith was not in the circumstances, but in my power to transform them. Let her story remind you that the silence is not empty, it is an invitation to come closer, to trust deeper, and to believe more boldly. Child, I know the nights feel long and the waiting feels endless. But just as the stars continue to shine even when the clouds obscure them, so does my love for you remain steadfast, when the answers seem delayed. Remember that I am never late. My timing is perfect, aligning with the moments when your heart is most prepared to receive all that I have for you. Do not let fear or doubt cloud the truth of who I am. I am the God who parts the seas, who calms the storms, and who provides in abundance. Nothing is too difficult for me. Take heart, my child, and let this truth anchor your soul. Every prayer for financial miracle you lift is heard, cherished, and answered according to my perfect plan. The silence you endure now is not the absence of my presence but the sacred space where I am working all things together for your good. Trust in me, and you will see the beauty that I am weaving from the threads of your faith. So, do not grow weary. Continue to lift your voice in prayer, to sow seeds of trust, and to rest in the assurance that I am with you always. The night will not last forever, and when the dawn breaks, you will see the fullness of my love shining upon your life like the morning sun. I am here, my precious child, holding you, guiding you, and preparing a blessing that will surpass your greatest expectations. The unshakable power of faith, my beloved child. I see the burden you carry, the quiet weight that no one else seems to notice. You have lifted your prayer for financial miracle with trembling hands, wondering if it has reached me, wondering if I hear you at all. Let me assure you now, I hear every word, every whisper, and every unspoken longing of your heart. My ears are never closed to your cries. There will be times when the silence feels heavy, when the answers seem far off. But know this, my silence is not my absence. It is in these moments that your faith is being refined, strengthened, and made unshakable. I am not ignoring you, my child. I am preparing something far greater than you can imagine. Something that aligns perfectly with my love for you. Do not be discouraged by delays, for they are not denials. When the Canaanite woman came to me, pleading for her daughter, she faced silence too. But she did not walk away. She continued to seek me, to trust me, and to believe in my power to act. Her faith was not in the circumstances, it was in me. That is the faith I ask of you, a faith that holds on, even when the answers seem distant. I know the questions that flood your mind in the waiting. You ask, why must I endure this? Why hasn't the breakthrough come yet? My beloved, trust that I am working even now. I am aligning every detail, orchestrating every moment with divine precision. My timing is never wrong, and my promises to you are always true. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. Your prayer for financial miracle is precious to me. I hold it close to my heart, and I am weaving every thread of your need into a tapestry of grace and provision. Do not lose hope. My child, the miracle you seek is closer than you think. And when it comes, you will see that the wait was not wasted. Today, I ask you to trust me more deeply than ever before. Trust not only in my power to provide but also in my love that never fails. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that I am for you, not against you, and that I delight in blessing those who place their faith in me. Hold on, my beloved, for I am working, and my plans for you are good. Faith that perseveres even when the silence feels overwhelming. Your prayers are never ignored. I hear every cry of your heart, and I see the persistence with which you seek me. It is this unwavering faith that moves mountains and draws my presence closer to you. Do not think that your prayer for financial miracle goes unnoticed or unheard. Every word you lift up is cherished and held in my hands. The Canaanite woman's faith teaches a powerful lesson. Though her cries were met first with silence and then with words that could have discouraged her, she did not turn away. She continued to call out, to believe, and to trust that I was able to do what she asked. Her persistence was not a sign of doubt but a declaration of her trust in my power and my love. This is the kind of faith I desire in you, not faith that wavers when the answers seem delayed, but faith that presses on, believing that my timing is always perfect. There is nothing too small or too great for me to handle. I ask only that you trust me, even when the path is unclear. The silence you feel now is not a barrier, it is an invitation. It calls you to draw nearer, to strengthen your resolve, and to place your confidence in my promises. Do not be discouraged by the waiting, for it is in this time that your faith is being refined, made strong enough to carry the blessings I have prepared for you. When the answer comes, and it will be greater than what you have imagined. You will see that every moment of waiting, every act of persistence, and every prayer lifted in faith was not in vain. My love for you is unchanging, and my provision for you is sure. Keep trusting, keep believing, and know that I am with you always. The strength found in humility when you come before me. It is not your perfection that moves my heart, but your humility. The Canaanite woman did not rely on her worthiness, her status, or her achievements. She approached with nothing but a heart full of trust and a deep awareness of her need. She understood that even a crumb of my grace was enough to transform her life completely. This is the posture I desire from you, not one of striving, but of surrender. When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, do so with the assurance that I do not measure your worth by your successes or failures. What I look for is a heart that recognizes its dependence on me, a faith that believes my power is more than sufficient to meet every need. Do not let pride or fear hold you back from coming to me fully. Humility is not weakness, it is strength rooted in the knowledge that I am your source. It is through humility that you draw closer to me, that your heart becomes open to receive the blessings I have prepared for you. The Canaanite woman's humility was not a mark of defeat, it was a testament to her unshakable belief in my goodness. Even when the path seemed challenging, she did not waver. Her response to my words, her willingness to trust me despite the obstacles, was a declaration of faith that I could not ignore. In your own journey, let humility guide you. Trust that my grace is enough, that my love for you is unchanging, and that my power is always at work on your behalf. When you approach me in humility, you open the door to miracles beyond anything you could imagine. I will not fail you. Faith that unlocks miracles even when the waiting feels endless. Do not lose heart. I see the persistence in your prayers, the hope you carry even when doubt tries to creep in. Your prayer for financial miracle has not been ignored, nor has it been forgotten. I hear you, my child, and I am working on your behalf even now, orchestrating blessings that will arrive at the perfect time. The story of the Canaanite woman reminds us that faith is often tested in the waiting. She faced silence, obstacles, and words that could have discouraged her. Yet she did not turn away. Her unwavering trust and persistence were not met with rejection but with reward. In the same way, your waiting is not a waste, it is a sacred process where your faith grows stronger and prepares you for the blessings I am about to pour into your life. I know the waiting is hard. You wonder why the answers have not yet come, why the breakthrough feels delayed. But trust this, my timing is never wrong. Every moment of waiting has a purpose. Every delay is filled with my love and precision. I am aligning everything to work together for your good. And when the answer comes, it will exceed your expectations. Do not be afraid of the silence. It is not the absence of my presence but the space where my power is working in ways you cannot yet see. Your persistence in prayer, your willingness to trust me even when the answers seem distant, is a testimony of your faith. I honor that faith. And I promise you, the waiting will not last forever. Hold on to this truth, just as I responded to the Canaanite woman's faith, I will respond to yours. The miracle you are seeking is on its way. Continue to trust. Continue to pray. And know that I am with you in every step of this journey. The blessings I have prepared for you will come at the right time. And when they do, you will see that the waiting was worth it. The assurance of God's boundless love. There is no limit to my love for you. It reaches beyond every boundary, every mistake, and every fear you hold in your heart. When you come to me with your prayer for financial miracle, you are not met with judgment or hesitation, you are met with open arms and a heart full of compassion. My love does not waver, it is constant, unchanging, and overflowing. The Canaanite woman's story is a powerful reminder of this truth. She was seen as an outsider, someone deemed unworthy by those around her. Yet her faith brought her into the fullness of my grace. She believed that my mercy was not confined by human barriers. And her persistence was a declaration of trust in my love. I honored her faith, not because of who she was by the world's standards, but because of who she believed I am. I want you to understand this deeply. My love for you is not dependent on your performance or your position in life. It is not something you earn or achieve. It is a gift, freely given, because you are mine. When you feel unworthy or doubt that your prayers are enough, Remember that I do not measure you by your shortcomings. I see your heart, your faith, and your desire to draw near to me. And that is enough. Do not let fear or shame keep you from coming to me. My love for you is greater than your failures, stronger than your doubts, and more enduring than any challenge you face. When you lift your prayers, no matter how small or uncertain they feel, they rise before me as a precious offering. I am always listening, always ready to respond. Trust in my love, even in the waiting. The miracle you are seeking may not arrive in the way you expect, but it will come, shaped perfectly by my wisdom and my care for you. Just as I answered the Canaanite woman, I will answer you. My love is the foundation of every promise I have made, and I will never fail to fulfill what I have spoken. Let your heart rest in this assurance: you are deeply loved, fully known, and completely cherished. No matter where you are or what you face, my love will sustain you, guide you, and provide for you. The blessings I have prepared for you are a reflection of this boundless love, and they are on their way. Keep trusting, keep believing, and let my love be the anchor for your soul. The power of persistent prayer. Every time you lift your prayer for financial miracle, it reaches me, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Every word you speak is precious. Every tear you shed is seen, and every moment of waiting is purposeful. Do not underestimate the power of persistence in prayer. It is not a test of your strength but a reflection of your trust in me. The Canaanite woman did not stop asking. Even when her cries were met with silence, she pressed forward, her faith growing stronger with every word. Her persistence was not an act of desperation but a declaration of belief in my power and my willingness to provide. This is the kind of prayer I call you to, one that does not waver, even when the answers seem far off. I know the waiting can feel heavy, and the silence can feel unbearable. But understand this, my child: the moments when you persist in prayer are the moments when your faith is being refined and your trust is being strengthened. Your prayers are not unheard, they are being woven into a plan far greater than you can imagine. The delays are not denials, they are divine preparations for what is to come. When you pray, let your heart rest in the assurance that I am listening. I do not require perfect words or grand expressions, I only ask for a heart that seeks me sincerely and trusts me completely. Even a simple plea, Lord, help me, carries enough power to move mountains when it is spoken in faith. The story of the Canaanite woman reminds us that persistence in prayer is not about convincing me to act, it is about aligning your heart with mine. It is about believing that I am able, even when the circumstances seem impossible. Just as I honored her persistence, I will honor yours. Your prayer for financial miracle is already in my hands, and I am working in ways you cannot yet see. Do not give up, my child. Continue to seek me, to trust me, and to believe in the promises I have made to you. The power of persistent prayer is not in the words themselves but in the faith that underpins them. I am with you in every step, and I will not fail to provide for you at the right time. Let this truth fill your heart with peace: your prayers are not in vain, your persistence is not ignored, and your faith will be rewarded. Trust in me, and you will see the miracle you have been waiting for unfold in ways that will leave you in awe. The growth that happens in the waiting is never easy. But it is in the waiting that I do some of my greatest work in you. Your prayer for financial miracle has not been forgotten, and neither have you. Every moment of waiting is shaping your heart, refining your faith, and preparing you for the blessings that are on their way. Trust that the waiting is not wasted, it is where miracles are born. The Canaanite woman's persistence was tested in the silence. But it was in that silence that her faith deepened. She did not see the answer immediately, but she did not give up. Instead, she pressed closer, believing that I was still listening, still able, and still willing to act. This is what I desire for you, to trust me even when the answers seem delayed. In the waiting, I am teaching you to rely on me completely. I am drawing you closer, strengthening your spirit, and aligning every part of your life with my perfect plan. The delays you experience are not obstacles, they are opportunities for you to grow in faith and to prepare for the blessings I am bringing. Each day that you trust me in the waiting is a day that your relationship with me grows stronger. Do not focus on the silence, my child. Focus on the promise that I have given you. I am faithful to fulfill every word I have spoken. The answers you seek are being prepared. And when they come, they will exceed your expectations. The waiting is not a sign that I have forgotten you, it is a sign that I am working with divine precision to bring everything together for your good. Let this truth anchor you, just as I honored the faith of the Canaanite woman. I will honor yours. The waiting is not forever. And when the time is right, you will see the fullness of my plan. Keep trusting, keep praying, and keep believing that I am working on your behalf. Your persistence in the waiting is a testimony of your faith, and I will not let it go unrewarded. The blessings I have prepared for you are worth every moment of waiting. When they come, you will see that I have been with you every step of the way, shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the abundance I am about to pour into your life. The reward of patience, the waiting may feel long, and the silence may seem unbearable. But I assure you, your patience will not be in vain. Every moment you hold on, every time you lift your prayer for financial miracle, and every act of trust in me is building something extraordinary. I see your perseverance, your faithfulness in the face of uncertainty, and I am preparing a reward that will exceed your greatest hopes. The Canaanite woman's persistence was not easy. She faced silence and challenges. Yet she did not turn away. She trusted that I would respond, that her cries were not in vain, and her patience was rewarded, not just with a miracle, but with a testimony of faith that would inspire countless others. In the same way, your waiting is not wasted. It is laying the foundation for blessings that will overflow in your life. Do not grow weary, my child. I know the weight of waiting can feel like a burden, but it is in this time that your faith is growing stronger and your trust in me is being refined. My timing is perfect, and I am aligning everything in your life for the moment when the answer will come. When it does, you will see that every delay had a purpose and that my plan for you was always good. Your patience is not a passive act, it is an active declaration of your faith. It shows that you believe in my promises, that you trust in my love, and that you are willing to wait for the fullness of what I have prepared for you. Just as I honored the faith of the Canaanite woman, I will honor yours. The blessings you are waiting for are already being prepared, and they will arrive in ways that will leave you in awe. Let this truth fill your heart with peace. Your waiting is not for nothing. The patience you show now will be rewarded with blessings that will not only meet your needs, but overflow into the lives of others. I am faithful to complete the work I have started in you. And I will not fail to fulfill my promises. Hold on. For the reward is near. The waiting will soon give way to joy. And you will see that every moment of patience was worth it. Trust me, my child, for I am with you. And I am bringing my perfect plan to pass in your life. The fulfillment of God's promises, it is done. The answers you have longed for, the miracle you have persistently prayed for, are now unfolding in your life. Your prayer for financial miracle has not only reached me, it has been lovingly held, intricately woven into my perfect plan, and delivered to you at the appointed time. Every moment of waiting, every step of faith, and every word lifted in trust has brought you to this place of blessing. I have seen your tears, your struggles, and your faith that refused to give up. I have not ignored a single cry. Today, as I pour my blessings over you, let it remind you that I am faithful to fulfill my promises. The Canaanite woman trusted, persisted, and believed despite every challenge. And her faith opened the door to healing and restoration. In the same way, your persistence has unlocked the fullness of my provision for you. This is not just the conclusion of your waiting, it is the beginning of a life renewed in my promises. The blessings you receive today are a testament to my unchanging love for you, a love that knows no boundaries, no conditions, and no limitations. Let these blessings fill you with peace and joy, but also with the confidence that I will continue to walk with you in every season of life. Remember this, my timing is perfect. My plans for you are good. And my love for you is eternal. The journey you have walked has not only brought you to the answers you sought, but has also deepened your faith, strengthened your spirit, and drawn your heart closer to me. Now, go forward, carrying this testimony of my faithfulness. Let it be a light for others who are still waiting, a beacon of hope that declares I am the God who hears prayers, who honors faith, and who works all things together for good. The blessings I have given you are not the end, they are a reminder that my goodness in your life will continue to overflow. Hold this truth close to your heart, I am the God who never fails, who never leaves, and who always provides. Rest in this assurance and walk boldly into the future I have prepared for you, knowing that my love will sustain you in every moment to come. The best is yet to come, and I will be with you every step of the way. When faith faces its greatest test, my beloved child, close your eyes and imagine standing at the edge of a great river. The current rushes fiercely, and the other side feels impossibly far. You look down at your trembling hands and wonder if you have the strength to cross, if the burdens you carry will drag you under. Yet, in the stillness, a voice whispers, take the first step. Trust me. This river, child, represents the challenges you face, the silence in response to your prayer for financial miracle, the unanswered questions, and the weariness of waiting. And yet, it is through this river that your faith will find its greatest strength. Faith often begins as a small, fragile light. When you pray for a breakthrough, for provision, or for healing, that light flickers with hope. But when the silence lingers, and the path grows dark, the temptation to doubt becomes louder. I know the heaviness that fills your heart in those moments. You wonder if I hear you, if your prayers matter, or if the miracle you seek will ever come. But hear me now, I see you. I hear you. And I am working in ways you cannot yet see. The Canaanite woman knew this struggle. She came to me not out of ease but out of desperation. Her daughter was suffering. And she carried the weight of a mother's love and a heart full of hope. When she cried out to me, "Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me," her words were filled with both faith and urgency. Yet, my response was silence. Can you imagine her heart in that moment? Can you see the shadows of doubt threatening to steal her resolve? But she did not give up. Instead, she pressed closer. She knew that even in the silence, I was listening. Her persistence was not a sign of weakness but of faith, a faith that believed I could heal, even when the answer seemed far away. This is what I ask of you, child. When your prayer for financial miracle feels unanswered, do not turn away. Do not let the silence convince you that I am distant. Instead, let it draw you closer to me. To trust that my timing is perfect and my plans for you are good. You see, the silence is not a denial. It is a space where your faith is strengthened, where your trust grows deeper, like the roots of a tree stretching down into unseen soil. Your faith is growing stronger in this waiting. The river before you may feel overwhelming, but I am the one who will carry you across. Your prayers, every word and every tear, are the seeds of a harvest that will come in its season. The Canaanite woman's story reminds us that faith is not about ease, it is about persistence. She was tested, but her unwavering trust opened the door to a miracle. Just as I honored her faith, I will honor yours. Your persistence in prayer is not a cry into the void, it is a declaration of your trust in my ability to provide, to heal, and to restore. Take heart, child, for your prayer for financial miracle has not gone unheard. I am the God who turns impossibilities into testimonies. Trust that even in the silence, I am working. I am aligning every detail, every moment, and every provision for the perfect time. Just as the river's current cannot stop the sunrise, so too will nothing hinder my blessings for you. The waiting may be long, and the silence may feel heavy, but it is in this space that your faith will grow unshakable. Trust me to bring you through. Trust me to answer in ways greater than you can imagine. The river will part, the burden will lift, and your faith will shine brighter than ever before. Keep praying, keep trusting, and know that I am with you every step of the way. Faith that sees beyond the silence when you pray and the answers seem delayed. Do not let your heart grow weary. Your prayer for financial miracle is not ignored. It is held close to my heart, and I am working in ways you cannot yet see. Faith is not built on immediate results but on trust that endures even in the waiting. The Canaanite woman's story is a testimony to this truth. When she came to me with her plea for her daughter's healing, she faced silence. It was not an easy silence, it tested her resolve and challenged her trust. But she did not turn away. She did not allow the lack of an immediate answer to shake her faith. Instead, she persisted, knowing that I held the power to bring the miracle she sought. In your journey, the silence you face is not a sign of rejection. It is an invitation to trust me more deeply. To anchor your faith not in what you see but in who I am. The world may tell you to give up, to stop hoping, to let go of your prayers. But I tell you, press on. Your persistence in faith is powerful. It reaches beyond the visible and connects to the divine. Do not think your waiting is meaningless. Each moment of faith, each act of trust, is a step closer to the fulfillment of my promises. I do not delay without reason. I am aligning every detail, every provision, and every moment to bring about what is best for you. The timing may not match your expectations, but it will always align perfectly with my plan. The Canaanite woman's faith was not just about her persistence, it was about her belief in my goodness. She trusted not only in my ability but also in my desire to act. I honored her faith, not because of who she was in the eyes of others, but because of her unwavering trust in me. In the same way, I honor your faith when you continue to pray, when you continue to trust, even when the answers feel far away. Let your faith rest in this assurance: I am with you. I hear you, and I am working to bring your prayers to fruition. The silence is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of a deeper trust, a stronger faith, and a testimony that will declare my faithfulness to the world. The power of perseverance when the answers feel far away, and the waiting stretches on. Perseverance becomes the anchor of your faith. The Canaanite woman showed a faith that did not falter, even when the journey was difficult. Her persistence was not born from desperation but from a deep trust in my power and my love. In the same way, your prayer for financial miracle carries great power when lifted with unwavering perseverance. She did not stop asking, even when silence met her initial cries. She pressed forward, refusing to let doubt or discouragement take root. This is the kind of faith I call you to, a faith that persists, a faith that believes, and a faith that trusts in my timing, even when the answers seem delayed. Perseverance in prayer is not about forcing a response, it is about aligning your heart with mine. Each time you lift your prayer, you are not reminding me of your need, I already know it. Instead, you are strengthening your trust in my ability to meet that need. Your persistence declares, I believe in your power, and I trust in your love. The Canaanite woman's faith was tested, but she did not waver. She believed that even a crumb of grace from my table would be enough to meet her need. Her perseverance opened the door to a miracle, and I declared her faith to be great. Know this, I see your persistence. I honor your faith, and I am working to bring the blessings you have prayed for into your life. Do not let the waiting discourage you. Let it deepen your trust. Each prayer, each act of faith, is moving you closer to the fulfillment of my promises. I am not ignoring you, and I am not withholding blessings from you. I am preparing something greater than you can imagine, and your perseverance is a key part of that process. Remember, my child, your faith is not measured by how quickly answers come but by your willingness to keep trusting. Keep praying, and keep believing in the face of silence, just as the Canaanite woman's persistence led to her daughter's healing. So too will your perseverance in faith lead to the blessings I have prepared for you. Hold fast, and trust that I am with you every step of the way. The strength found in humility when you come to me in prayer. It is not your status, achievements, or words that move my heart, it is your humility. The Canaanite woman approached me not with entitlement, but with a heart full of trust and a recognition of her need. She understood that even the smallest measure of my grace was enough to change her situation completely. Her response to my words was not one of pride or offense, it was a declaration of faith. Yes, Lord, But even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table. This humility revealed a profound trust in my ability and willingness to provide. Even when the circumstances seemed unfavorable, her faith was grounded in the belief that my grace is abundant and sufficient. Even in the smallest portion. When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, come with the same humility. It is not about how much you have done or how deserving you feel, it is about recognizing that I am your source. Humility is not weakness, it is the strength to acknowledge that my grace is what sustains you and that my power is what transforms your life. The world often tells you to rely on your own strength, to build your own solutions. But I ask you to let go of that striving and come to me with a heart that trusts fully in my provision. Humility opens the door to my blessings because it removes the barriers of pride and fear. It allows you to receive freely, knowing that what I give is not earned but freely given out of my love for you. The Canaanite woman's humility was not about accepting less, it was about believing in the abundance of my grace. Her faith was not diminished by her position, it was magnified by her trust. I honored her humility and her faith. And I will honor yours. When you come to me with a humble heart, you position yourself to receive not only what you need, but abundantly more than you could imagine. Let this truth anchor your soul: my grace is sufficient for you. My love is unchanging. And my blessings are limitless. Humility is not the end of your prayers, it is the beginning of my miracles in your life. Trust me, and you will see the power of my grace poured out in ways that exceed your greatest hopes. The miracle unlocked by faith. Faith is the key that opens the door to miracles. And the Canaanite woman's story is a powerful testament to this truth. Her unwavering belief in my power and her persistence in seeking me brought healing to her daughter. She did not allow silence, obstacles, or her perceived unworthiness to deter her. Instead, she pressed forward, confident that even the smallest measure of my grace could change everything. When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, do so with the same faith. Believe not only in my ability to provide but also in my willingness to act on your behalf. Faith is not about what you can see or control, it is about trusting in who I am. It is the bridge between your need and my provision. And it has the power to move mountains. The woman's faith was not just persistent, it was bold. She believed that my love and power were not limited by circumstances or barriers. Her faith declared, "Even a crumb of your grace is enough for me." And because of her great faith, I did not simply meet her need, I exceeded it, bringing healing and restoration that changed her life. Your faith carries the same potential. When you trust me, even when the answers seem delayed, you align yourself with the fullness of my promises. I am not distant or indifferent. I see your prayers, and I am working to bring about the miracle you seek. The waiting is not a sign of my absence, it is a space where your faith is being strengthened and prepared to receive the blessings I have for you. Let this encourage you, just as I honored the faith of the Canaanite woman. I will honor yours. Your persistence, your trust, and your unwavering belief in my power do not go unnoticed. Keep praying. Keep trusting. And know that your faith is unlocking the blessings I have prepared for you. The miracle you are waiting for is closer than you think. Hold on to your faith, for it is the key that opens the door to my provision. I will not fail you, and my love for you will never waver. Trust me, and you will see my faithfulness in ways that will leave you in awe. The assurance of God's unfailing love. My love for you knows no limits. It does not waver with your circumstances. nor is it diminished by your doubts. When you lift your prayer for financial miracle, it is not weighed against your worthiness, it is met with compassion and grace. My love is not earned, it is freely given because you are mine. The Canaanite woman's story is a powerful reminder that my love and grace are boundless. She came to me as an outsider, someone others deemed unworthy. Yet, her faith and persistence drew her into the fullness of my mercy. She believed that my power and love extended beyond human limitations. And I honored her faith with a miracle that transformed her life. Do not let fear or shame keep you from approaching me. I do not see you as the world sees you, I see your heart. I see your faith. Even when it feels small. I see your struggles. Even when you think they are hidden. And I see your trust. Even when it wavers. My love for you is not conditional. It does not depend on what you have done but rests on who I am. Let this truth settle deeply in your heart, you are never beyond the reach of my love. The prayers you offer, no matter how uncertain or imperfect they may seem, are precious to me. I hear every cry, and I hold every word close. Your prayer for financial miracle is not ignored, it is cherished and woven into my perfect plan for your life. The love I have for you is the foundation of every promise I have made. Trust in it, rest in it, and let it be the anchor for your faith as you wait for the blessings I have prepared for you. My timing may not align with your expectations, but it is always perfect. My love ensures that every detail of your life is carefully aligned for your good. Do not doubt my heart for you. Just as I responded to the faith of the Canaanite woman, I will respond to yours. My love for you is the assurance that I am working, that I am with you, and that I will never fail to provide for you. You are deeply loved, wholly seen, and fully cherished. Trust in my love, and you will find peace that surpasses all understanding. The power of persistent prayer. Every time you lift your prayer for financial miracle, know that it reaches me. Your persistence in prayer is not a sign of doubt, it is a testament to your faith in my power and love. The Canaanite woman's story reveals the strength of a heart that refuses to give up, even in the face of silence. Her unwavering trust brought her closer to the miracle she sought. Prayer is not just about receiving answers, it is about building a relationship with me. Each time you come to me, your faith grows stronger, your trust deepens, and your heart aligns with my will. The silence you sometimes encounter is not my absence but an opportunity for you to press closer, to believe more fully, and to rely completely on me. The Canaanite woman faced barriers that could have discouraged her: cultural rejection, silence, and words that tested her resolve. Yet, she persisted. Her faith was not based on what she saw but on who she believed I am. That same faith is what I ask of you when you pray. Trusting that even when the answers are not immediate, I am still working. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just a request, it is an act of faith. A declaration that you trust me to meet your needs. Do not be discouraged by delays or distractions. Each moment of persistence strengthens your spirit and draws you closer to the blessings I have prepared for you. Remember, my child, I am a God who honors faith. The Canaanite woman's persistence was not ignored, it was celebrated. I declared her faith great and granted her request. In the same way, I see your perseverance, and I will respond. The answers to your prayers are not far away. Keep praying, keep trusting, and know that your persistence moves my heart. Let this truth fill you with hope: your prayers are not in vain. Your faith is not unnoticed. And your persistence will be rewarded. The blessings I have for you will come in my perfect time. And they will exceed what you could ever imagine. Hold on to your faith. For I am with you. And I am working all things together for your good. Waiting is never easy. But it is in the waiting that I prepare you for the blessings I have planned. Your prayer for financial miracle is not forgotten. Nor is it delayed without purpose. I am working in ways you cannot yet see. Aligning every detail for the perfect time. The waiting is not a punishment, it is a process where your faith is strengthened. Your heart is refined. And your trust in me grows deeper. The Canaanite woman's journey was marked by waiting and perseverance. She faced silence and obstacles. Yet she did not give up. Her faith grew stronger with every step, every word, and every plea. She understood that my timing was not hers. But she trusted that the answer would come. This is what I desire for you, a faith that holds steady, even when the answers seem distant. Each moment of waiting is an opportunity to grow. It is in this time that I teach you to trust me fully, to surrender your fears, and to rest in my promises. The silence you feel is not emptiness, it is the space where I am building something extraordinary in you. Your persistence in lifting your prayers is not just about the answer you seek, it is about the transformation happening within you. Do not let the waiting discourage you, my child. Instead, let it draw you closer to me. Each time you pray, you are declaring your faith in my power and my love. Every prayer, every act of trust, is like planting a seed in fertile ground. The harvest may take time, but when it comes, it will be abundant beyond your imagination. The Canaanite woman's story ended with a miracle. But the journey was just as important as the outcome. Through her persistence, her faith became an example for generations to follow. In the same way, your waiting is not just for you, it is part of a greater testimony that will inspire others. Your prayer for financial miracle is not just shaping your life, it is declaring my faithfulness to the world. Trust me in the waiting, and know that I am with you every step of the way. The blessings I have prepared for you are worth every moment of patience. When the answer comes, you will see that the waiting was not wasted. It was a sacred time where your faith grew. Your heart was prepared. And my plans for you were perfectly aligned. The reward of enduring faith, your patience and perseverance have not gone unnoticed. Every prayer for financial miracle you have lifted, every moment you chose to trust instead of despair, has brought you closer to the blessings I have prepared for you. The waiting may feel long, but I assure you, it is not without purpose. I am faithful, and I will reward the faith that endures. The Canaanite woman's persistence brought her to a place of miraculous breakthrough. She did not allow silence or obstacles to diminish her belief in my power. Her faith was not just an act of hope, it was a declaration of confidence in who I am. I honored her faith, not because of her position or status, but because of her trust in me. In the same way, I see your persistence, and I am working on your behalf. The blessings I have for you are greater than what you can imagine. They are not just answers to your prayers, they are an overflow of my love for you. The delays you have experienced are not denials, they are the preparation ground for something far greater. When the time is right, you will see that every moment of waiting, every act of faith, and every word of prayer was part of a divine plan. Do not lose heart. My child, the endurance you show in prayer is a reflection of your faith in my promises. Each time you choose to trust me, even when the path feels uncertain, you are declaring that I am your source, your provider, and your sustainer. This faith pleases me deeply, and it will not go unrewarded. Let this truth encourage you, just as the Canaanite woman's faith unlocked her miracle. So too will your faith bring forth the blessings you seek. Keep pressing forward. Keep trusting. And keep lifting your prayers to me. The reward for your faith is near, and it will be more than you have asked for or imagined. Hold on, my beloved child. The waiting will not last forever. The joy of seeing my promises fulfilled will far outweigh the struggles you have faced. Trust in me, for I am faithful, and I am working all things together for your good. The fulfillment of God's promises, it is done. The prayers you have lifted, the faith you have held onto, and the trust you have placed in me have brought you to this moment. Your prayer for financial miracle has been answered, and the blessings I have prepared for you are now unfolding. Every tear you shed, every moment of waiting, and every word spoken in faith was not in vain. I have heard you, I have seen you, and I have acted on your behalf. The story of the Canaanite woman ends with a declaration: Woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. Just as her persistence led to the miracle she sought, your perseverance has brought you to this place of fulfillment. The blessings you now hold are a testimony to my faithfulness, a reminder that I am the God who hears prayers, who honors faith, and who provides in abundance. Let this be a turning point in your journey. The blessings I have given you are not just for your needs, they are a reflection of my love and a foundation for your continued trust in me. Do not stop seeking me, my child, for my plans for you are far greater than you can imagine. The miracles you see today are only the beginning of the good things I have in store for your life. Go forward with confidence, knowing that my love will sustain you, my grace will guide you, and my provision will never fail. Share the testimony of what I have done, so that others may also be encouraged to trust in my promises. Your journey of faith is a light for those still walking through the darkness, a declaration that I am a God who never fails. Remember this always: I am with you in every moment. I have not only met your needs but exceeded them. And I will continue to walk with you in every season of life. The fulfillment of this prayer is not the end, it is the beginning of a deeper relationship with me, built on trust, faith, and the assurance of my unfailing love. Rest now, my beloved child, in the joy of knowing that I have been with you every step of the way, and I always will be. The best is yet to come. Amen.